Well, hey there, and welcome back for another Secondhand Opinions video. I'm Jason Alderman, the internet's favorite fat mouth, fat ass, bringing you fat stacks of fuck facts. Today, I thought we'd talk a little bit about a question I've asked in the past of a lot of you lefty folks, which is, are you sick of yourself yet? Now, by the poll numbers and other things showing up in different places in the news and media, etc., it's obviously you're becoming sick of yourselves. People are moving from Democrat to independent or full on over to conservative, Republican. They're sick of being lied to. They're sick of having their lives shut down and shit upon so that politicians can pretend that there's some sort of aristocracy. But worse yet, I suspect some of you now, specifically, I know of one young man who's going to be just nauseated with himself every time he looks in the mirror from now for a while to come. Let's talk about this guy and what's going on with him. It looks to me like, from the pictures I can see, that this fellow went from nice young gentleman, fine upstanding young man, to agitated, to become an agitator, to then become a rioter, and a violent criminal with 3 felonies on his record now, or 3 charges on his record of felonies. From what it looks like, this poor kid went from being just some kid in Portland, trying to have a job and get some money together to go play with his friends and stuff. And then it looks like he either pretended to or stepped up to a security position where he felt like he was either going to earn more money or do better for his community. At least he was out there attempting to provide security, in theory, for his community, whatever that means to him. But he's got the security vest on there in a couple of pictures, which means to me he probably had a security job. Which means that he was either A, just looking to get paid like most folks, or was actively trying to address the security of his neighborhood, people he hangs out with, whatever. The problem is the Democrats and the deep state and all this media bullshit got this kid's brain cooked up. They worked him up, they lied to him, they spun him around, and they set him out on the streets, and they turned him loose. And he went for a head-on collision with the legal system. Here's some video of what this guy did, if you haven't seen it already. Here you see him in his security vest agitating. In this moment, he attacks the man from behind while he's sitting on the ground. This man is a pussy and a coward. And in this very moment, Mr. Love commits attempted murder and seals his fate in prison. You know what they do to guys like you in prison, coward.
What the fuck are you talking about, nigga? What the fuck are you talking about? Not that fucking racist, bro! You fucking loser!
You look sad and scared, Keese. You should be sad and scared. You tried to murder a man because you're a racist piece of shit. And now you're probably going to go to prison for a long, long time. And like I said, do you know what they do to pretty little cowards like you in prison?
Fucking try to run people over. Fuck.
That he was actively trying to attack this guy any which way he could, and the small crowd of people were protecting this fellow. And you can see here in this clip the reason why he's been arrested and why he's facing 3 felony charges. And you can see from this picture how he went from being a bright and happy young man with a future ahead of him to this picture where he is obviously not bright and happy and has no real future ahead of him because of this picture. Keese Love, Marquise Love, Marquise Lee Love was just your average everyday kid. Just some guy trying to work his job, earn his money, have his fun. The media, the Democrats, the deep state cabal, Oregon politicians and government like Ted Wheeler and Kate Brown grabbed this man by his tiny brain and drug him through broken glass and razor blades until he felt like defending himself. And then they said, "That's the target. Go defend yourself from him." Do you think Marquise feels lied to? Do you think he feels taken advantage of? Do you think he feels like he made bad decisions that are now greatly affecting his life? Do you think Marquise Love will gain joy and a touch of giddiness from being able to see clear blue sky in the near future? Because I think that's what happens to people who are incarcerated. They get locked up and they don't get to see the sky. They don't get to feel the sun. They don't get to speak with their friends. I have no doubt in my mind that Mr. Love felt like he was doing what he needed to do to make changes in society. Unfortunately, the people who put the blinders on him, spun him in circles, and sent him out in society to make those changes lied to him. And now look where he is. How many of you folks want to follow suit? How many of you people out there are going to keep swallowing the lies, keep taking the bait, go out on the streets and become their cudgel, and for it face felony charges? So I'll leave you with this little clips here to help you understand why Marquise Love is now going to go to prison. Oregon has a 3 strikes law. Marquise picked up 3 felonies that day. 2 of them I know are violent offenses. 1 of them is rioting. May or may not be a violent offense, but I suspect it is. And if it is, Oregon has a 3 strikes law. That means a mandatory minimum sentencing. I don't know what it is. I don't go around committing violent crime, so I don't care what it is. But Marquise now knows what it is. And he really cares. Well, let's all pretend like our opinions matter. Leave them shits in the comments below. Remember, this is social media, so do all the things.